So as technology gets changed, we move on to our second speaker, who is, as we all know, David Brown, and David's going to tell us about dahlias in the United States and his trips to America, and I'll hand over to David.
Thank you very much. Just a very brief description. It's a lot to get in 3/4 of an hour. I was over there 6 weeks. Unfortunately, I had 10 days of quite a bad COVID attack, but I got over it. And so it's very brief, quick. You all get a sheet which you could follow if we go a bit too quickly. And so just afterwards, perhaps if there's time, ask a few questions. Thank you. They're all captioned, so you have a quick look. Next. My son, by the way, is doing the work for me. So. This was the American Dahlia Society show in Virginia. You see how they don't have tiered exhibits, but they do have threes and mostly single vase exhibits. But this is just to give you a brief look at what they do. The quality's not bad. Probably not up to our championship standard, but it's not bad. Thank you. This was held in a Sheraton hotel, and it took place in 6 rooms. So it wasn't all in one hall. Thank you. They're going into cut flowers. A lot of growers over there are now in what they call dahlia farms, which is happening here as well. Thank you. A few floral art pictures. Thank you. Now, they use a lot of these little mignon dahlias for floral art, as you can see. They're really nice. Thank you. Yeah, 170 sat down for their banquet, and it's where they do their prize giving, and it's really nice gathering, and I always enjoy that. It was at this banquet that I gave the 8 NDS medals. Thank you. Just outside Philadelphia, they have a show in quite an old hall. Thank you. As you can see. Thank you. Longwood Gardens is very famous over there, and it's a nice venue. But as you can see, they just use flat tables. Thank you. Now the South Sound, south of the Puget Sound, it is one of the societies around Seattle. Thank you. Thank you. Now, they've introduced a new classification of dahlias called micro, and they cover anything under 2 inches in collarette, single, and star, all those little ones, but the mignons stay as they are. Thank you. They're all, the last two shows are held in shopping malls, and they occupy the centre, going out all over the shopping precinct. It's quite nice, really. As you can see, they get a lot of colour with their mixed classes. Thank you. They have an honours table where they all have these fancy ribbons and things. They're very pleased when they win a ribbon, and even if you don't win a class and come second, you get a ribbon, and so on. And they select the better exhibits for the honours table. Thank you. This I didn't take last year, I've taken previously.
Dave, wait. Question. What are they staging and what's in the glass?
Sorry, I'm not able to hear.
What are they staging?
Pardon?
What do they stage the flowers in? The question was.
You'll have to ask.
What do they stage the flowers in? Or
can you ask me after?
what are they staging?
Oh, they use sorry, the army did that to me, unfortunately. It's caught up with me. That's why I'm so deaf now. Shooting guns in those days was not pleasant. They use a mixture of, it's like fiberglass. It's not recyclable, I shouldn't think, so I don't know what they're going to do. But it's a strange, as I say, like a fiberglass which holds them in position. It's a problem, I think, with what they're doing. They may have to change. This is probably the best show in America. The Puget Sound Dahlia Association show. They've now amalgamated with the Seattle Dahlia Society, and it's held in as you see, sky nursery, and it really is very colourful and well attended. Thank you. Thank you. I saw 2 trial gardens last year. This is probably the best one in the States, at Tacoma, which is just south of Seattle, looked after by the Waltons, Marilyn and Ken, for years, but I forget the name at the moment of the new people, but they still help. Thank you. They're in raised beds. They have the first few beds are what they use as what would you say, a guide to what the ones being trialled should be. Always very colourful. Thank you. Thank you. This is the one on the east side, and there was very few flowers. I went to it twice, but there wasn't that much. Thank you. As you can see, very sparse of flower, and not as well grown as the ones on the Tacoma. Thank you. This is where I stayed near Seattle. Steve and Lamb and Debbie Pavich, they run this, and he goes in and does a lot of seedlings. You'll see 1 or 2 of them later on. Thank you. Thank you. As I say, dahlia farms, they're not really, they're dahlia gardens, but this is what they call them. But again, they're very colourful. Thank you. Some Gates dahlias. That's a proper farm, that one. They have acres of dahlias. Kitsap County, outside 3 post offices in the county, they have beds of dahlias, which are very colourful and they have literature, which you put down in the front there, and it's a way of publicising their society and the dahlia. Thank you. As you can see, it's very colourful, planted very close together, but nice. Thank you. Now, the rest of the pictures now are some of the newer dahlias that have been raised in the last few years in America. And this is raised by Christine Albrecht, who has produced a book in America about garden dahlias especially, and she sold thousands of it. Thank you. This is Gits, which are Swan Island, and I don't know whether it's a seedling or a spore from Nick Senior, which was the father. He's passed on. It's now run by Nicholas. Thank you. Narrows, that's the Waltons. Narrows is the area they live in, right by the Puget Sound. Thank you. Sandia, the Bowlers, produced many dahlias. A lot of you will know them. Sandias and SBs and all sorts. Bloomquist produces a lot of dahlias. I wouldn't say they're exhibition, but they're very colourful. Small dahlia from Bloomquist. This is the fairly new race at 20th Avenue, Prefect says. And he mainly does small dahlias. Thank you. That is the Kennedys, Ted and Margaret. They produced a lot of good dahlias over the years. Thank you. Not so new, but it's still well grown and nice over there. Thank you. Skipley, if you remember some years ago, we had one of their dahlias called Skipley Spot, which was red with white tips. Crossline, I don't know Derry at all. But you see, the quality's not bad. Thank you. Glencoe Archimura, he does the Glencoe dahlia. Very pretty there. Thank you. Narrows, again by the Waltons. Not new, but still well grown and about. Thank you. AC Pillar, Ken Greenway prefixes all his dahlias AC. He's packed up now supplying dahlias to people. He just does hybridizing. Thank you. Clearview, or Richard Parshall, the late Danielle, they came to our Wisley show, some of you will remember. And Richard was going to give up dahlias, but several of us, mostly over there, but myself, said, look, you'll need things to do. So he said it was touch and go, but he has now continued producing lovely dahlias. Thank you. Max, that's the Casses. They came to the Northern show a few years ago, and I think he was driving the Parshells and they hit a bus in York. So thank you. Another one from the Waltons. They produce really nice dahlias. Their garden is absolutely out of this world. It feeds down the lawns to the actual Puget Sound. Thank you. Manuel, he's quite a newish raiser. Alan, he prefixes his Allens, and again, very nice, really. Thank you. Give you another of Parshall's. Thank you. Narrows Mom, Walton's again. You soon over there pick out the best of the razors, the hybridizers they call them, but they're not bad at all. Thank you. Another one of Richard's. More of an old style dahlia, really, I think. Thank you. This is my post at Seattle. Steve Lamb, Debbie Pavich, and he's got some nice seedlings coming along. Thank you. J.S. Shelby, again, probably a garden dahlia, but lovely colours. Thank you. Another one of Ken Greenway's. He produces funny names with his dahlias. Okay, thank you. Another one of Manuel. Another one of Richard Parshall, medium cactus. Paulus, I went to their garden. He prefixes his Goodreach. A lovely coloured young, small cactus. Thank you. That's another one of Steve Lamb's. It's a pure cactus. Thank you. They have two forms of cactus, semi-cactus of course, but they have what they call a straight cactus and a cactus. Holly Hill, again the Kennedys. Thank you. Another one of theirs, I think that may have come over here recently. I'm not sure. Thank you. Another one of Ken Greenway's. I would call that more of perhaps a semi-cactus, but they've got it classified as a miniature cactus. Thank you. Scots snowcap, Mike Riordan. He just lost his partner. He used to name them all Scots after his partner. And he's produced over the years some very nice pictures. Thank you. Fims, Bloomquist, he produces, as I say, a lot of dahlias, a colourful lot. Thank you. Another one of his. Thank you. Narrows Ryan, medium Fim from the Waltons. It's more of an open fin, if you know what I mean. It's not so fimbriated as some. Thank you. Ken Greenways. Different colours, of course. Go in for colour very much in America. Dave Spencer will know, because he's been over there. Thank you. The Bowlers again. Sandia Gold, which is one of their newer ones. They produce quite a lot of good water lily dahlias over the years. Thank you. Spangenberg's Crazy Velvet. Thank you. And not Margaret, but I forget her name now. She grows over in the west, Arctic gold, which I think is quite nice. Thank you. Jackie's Red Devil, Tony Evangelista, small ball. Thank you. Rivers, Eugene Kenyon, prefix is his Rivers. He lives actually in Eugene, or just outside. I have been to his garden. Thank you. Here's Gibson's 20th Avenue again. I don't know where they get the names from, but not a bad dahlia. Thank you. SBs, the bowlers, a small ball. Thank you. Another 20th Avenue. Raising, tradition, miniature ball. Thank you. Another one of the bowlers, you know they produce some with prefix Irish. Irish Glow was one we had over here. Miniature ball, thank you. Chinese Red, Canadian Dahlia, raised a couple of years ago. Thank you. You walk and street. Wayne Lobar, he and his daughter, Rayanne, they produce a lot of dahlias, mainly garden varieties. Thank you. Here's another of Ray's. There's one for you, Vanessa. Destiny's John Michael. Thank you. Bloomquist, Catalina. Quite nice. The garden. Thank you. Colin Walker, the son of Roger, who I'm going to have the pleasure of presenting an NDS silver medal to Roger in Portland, Oregon at the ADS show in August. If any of you are in touch with him, don't tell him, he doesn't know, of course. This is his son Colin, who prefixes his dahlias Kelsey. We've had Annie Joy over here and others. He's very much into this type of dahlia. Now the granddaughters, two of them, are also raising their own dahlias. They're only teenage girls, but the whole family now are well into dahlias. Thank you. Another of Colin's, which I think is neat. I think it's a really nice collar there. Thank you. Go on to Stellars now that haven't really taken on over here, and I understand, having attended their classification meeting in Virginia, that they're looking into Stellars again. I don't know what they're going to do, if anything, but some so-called Stellars are far removed from something like this. They all came from Alloway, of course. Alloway Joy, was it, I think? That's Ron Miner, produces Baron dahlias. Thank you. Quite old now, but I still think this is one of the best Stellars. Ken Greenaway again, but it's been about a few years, but it fits the classification, I think, very well. Thank you. This is one produced by Nicholas Gibbs of Swan Island. Nice, pretty garden dahlia, I would think. Thank you. One of Richard Parshall's. That's the first Well, I think he's produced one or two, but this is 2017. Thank you. Anemone dahlias, they go in for quite a lot over there. Swan Island had produced quite a few over the years, and this is a Bloomquist one. Thank you. And the bowlers, Sandy and Steve, they produce a lot of garden dahlias, and although this was 2016, I think it's one of the nicest. It's a different colour to many dahlias. Thank you. Now this is young Annie Walker, and their peony dahlias are different from our peonies. They, ours, as you know, mainly have a dark centre and ring, but they produce this sort of peony dahlia, not just Annie, but a lot of them hybridizers, and she's only at mid-teens, I would think, and she's already growing and producing these dahlias. Takes after her dad, of course, Colin. Thank you. Rayanne, this is Wayne Lobar's daughter, and she produces a lot of garden dahlias, singles and stars and other things like that. Thank you. I don't know this razor, but it's quite an attractive single for the garden. Thank you. Another one of, this is Wayne's, and he names his after Rayanne. And it's what is called an orchid, which we haven't adopted as yet. Whether we will or not, I don't know. But an orchid is a cross between a star, an orchid dahlia, and a collarette. Thank you. That's another one from Wayne Lobar. Thank you. This is a star dahlia from Rayanne, Destiny's Blessing. Thank you. Mignol singles, GFF MS bronze, Armstrong. They only grow about, they're like our top mix really, but they go in for a lot of these and do their floral art, and they have classes for them as well. Thank you. That's another one. Nice, if you like, little growing window boxes or pots, patio pots. Thank you. There's one of Colin Walker's. This is a micro collarette. As I say, a new classification over there. Thank you. This is a micro water lily, all below 2 inches, and it doesn't appear to be a razor of this. Thank you. Micro orchid flower, or star. Thank you. Now, in 2012, I had the pleasure of presenting David and Leonie Smith with an NDS silver medal for the 3 most perfect miniature ball dahlias I've ever come across. And their Chimicum David was, and unfortunately David has developed dementia and Leonie has gone in. They've both gone into a home, and they produced all the Chimicum dahlias over the years. Thank you. Steve Santos, who took over the stock of Edna C and still grows it to perfection. And in Tacoma 214, I had little doubting awarding the NDS silver medal to him at the Tacoma ADS show. Thank you. This was this last year's NDS silver medal. I realise that the bloom on the right is not good, but the other blooms were excellent, and it was to somebody called Gerald Clark, and this was at the ADS show in Virginia. Elsie Houston. Thank you. Just to show you a couple of pictures of Swan Island dahlias. They grow 40 acres of dahlias, and it takes you all day to walk round. And it's for tuber sales and cut flower. Thank you. And you can see they go on for miles. It's a sight to behold and a privilege, run by the Gibbs family. Thank you. Little story, this is the last picture. In 1964, the National Dahlia Society chartered an aircraft. I think it was a Bristol Britannia, and 150 members and their families went to New York to the American Dahlia Society Golden Anniversary. I was there. There's not many of us left that were, and it was brought forward a year because they had the World's Trades Fair in New York, and they treated us like royalty. We went up to Niagara Falls. Of course, there was all the dahlia, a huge banquet, tours of New York and the surrounding area. And I wonder now what charting an aircraft would be, taking 150 of us over there. But I've got two of those brochures, and they're quite, quite a historical thing now. Anyway, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank my son Gordon for helping me, and Rob for helping set up the whole thing. If you've got any questions, I'll try and hear, but I should be going in August this year representing you, the NDS, and there'll be a silver medal for Roger Walker, as I said, for all his work. He works tremendously hard, seeks no publicity, and deals with all the trials and everything, runs the Puget Sound Seattle Dahlia Society, and as I say, it's a proper family affair with Colin and now the granddaughters. So I should look forward to going there, and I should be going to the Puget Sound show before I go down to Portland, Oregon, to the ADS show in Portland on the, it's be there, I think, well, I can't remember what show, but it should be, it mirrors exactly the show of 2012, which I was the first one I attended apart from 1964. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that.